So welcome back to Write, Publish, Connect, a video series by Axel Author Services. My name's Natalie. I'm back with Alexa, the founder of Axel Author Services. Hey Alexa, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Natalie?
I'm doing great today. So there's no lack of chatting about self-publishing, right? People talk about wanting to put a book out all the time. I feel like every other person I meet wants to do this, but I don't know if people actually really understand what it means, like how to get your book on a platform or actually physically in a bookstore. So I really want to sort of tackle this topic today and what it really means. So what exactly is a platform, like a publishing platform?
Sure. So publishing platforms are essentially fulfillment services, if you want to call them that,
Okay, yeah.
on which you can set up your book. You set up your book, you put in all the metadata related to your book, the title, the ISBN, the book categories, the synopsis, the retail price, all of that information, that data related to your book. And those platforms then will also receive the digital files of your book. So as I mentioned in a previous episode, when you publish your book, when you self-publish, you always ultimately have two separate files. You've got your cover file as one file, and then you also have the interior of your book. And what these publishing platforms do then is they receive these digital files, they are uploaded, and then when somebody orders the book from a particular retailer, whatever platform is used to fulfill that order, they supply the book. So essentially it's POD, print on demand. The idea being back in the day when people wanted to publish, they got their 10,000 copies and then they had to store them somewhere and they found friends and family and whatever. And they became that distribution machine. Now, instead, what we do is we utilize print on demand. It's digital files are housed on these platforms, and books are only printed when they are demanded, when they are ordered. So that is
I remember having to print all my books for my book launches. It was a nightmare.
Oh, yes.
And expensive too.
It definitely can get expensive. Now, I do want to mention that there's absolutely nothing wrong with an author saying, I want to have a book launch, like you said, Natalie.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have 200 copies on site. Of course, there are times where it makes sense. What's really nice about POD, print on demand, however, is that you don't have to have these enormous print runs in the hopes that these copies will sell. So that's the advantage.
So are there any platforms when it comes to publishing that you prefer or that you recommend to your clients?
Sure. Well, there are really some key ones, and those are Kindle Direct Publishing, Ingram Spark, and Draft to Digital. So Kindle Direct Publishing is essentially the publishing platform, if you will, affiliated with Amazon. So we will use Kindle Direct Publishing to allow to facilitate our authors to sell their books through all Amazon marketplaces. So Amazon only for print and ebook. Then we have Draft to Digital, which is the platform we use for ebook distribution to retailers other than Amazon. So we always recommend for Amazon, go direct and use Kindle Direct Publishing. And for print sales, again, through retailers other than Amazon, we use Ingram Spark.
So I just want to make sure that it's clear. So if a book is available on a website, it can also be available in the bookstore. Will it be available? No. Oh, okay.
No, making your book, so for instance, Ingram Spark, through Ingram Spark, you can make your book available on Barnes and Noble on their website, but having your book available through a website of a retailer is not the same thing as having your book physically stocked. And this is one of the biggest questions that our authors have is, how do I get my book into bookstores? Which is a whole other episode, but to briefly touch on,
I was going to say, we're not going there today.
Right. So when somebody orders your book on Barnes and Noble, that's Ingram Spark. That is the distribution power behind that. If I want to go to a Barnes and Noble brick and mortar store and find the book, unless that bookstore has ordered copies of the book will not be found, because the fact of the matter is there are so many books being published every minute, it seems. Bookstores have limited shelf space. Platforms, on the other hand, are not so limited because it's just
Yeah.
digital files that are set up and uploaded. So it's not the same thing. Bookstores, that will be another episode.
I think everybody just wants to see their book, right? When you walk into that bookstore, it's kind of like that aha moment, right?
Oh,
To have it
absolutely.
there.
It's a
Yeah.
crowning achievement. There's no doubt about it. But it's just to be clear that if you're telling your purchasers or your readers, my book is available at barnesandnoble.com, that is not the same as your reader being able to walk into their local Barnes and Noble and see your book on a shelf.
Absolutely. Okay. So how does your team or the team at Axel Author Services support clients when it comes to the publishing?
Right. So basically, we are all about allowing our clients and giving our clients control over the publishing process. As we mentioned in a previous video, we are
Yeah.
here to shepherd them through the process. We do not have ownership of anything. So what we do is we will leverage these platforms on their behalf. What does that mean? It means any accounts that we open up with any platforms are done in the author's name. They,
Yeah.
in turn, will always have the login credentials. Their compensation information will be there so that royalties are remitted to them. And we simply set up the book titles. We'll set up the book
Nice.
titles. We
Nice.
coordinate the order of the proof. So all of that is taken care of. But then afterwards, we hand over the reins to the author and say, this is where
Mm.
your book is found. And these are your accounts.
Awesome. That's so much good information. So if someone's looking for some help in the self-publishing process, and it could be pretty much at any point, right? It doesn't have to be just right at that manuscript, a submission phase. How do they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Well, they can visit our website, www.axelauthorservices.com. That's two A's,
Yeah.
AAXEL, authorservices.com. And I'm always happy to hear from authors, so they can email me directly, Alexa, Alexa, at axelauthorservices.com.
And I think the most important thing people need to remember at Axel Author Services, they will not let you publish crap.
That is right.
Thank you for another great episode. To our
Thank you,
listeners out
Natalie.
there, our viewers, make sure if you like this video to hit the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and most of all, share it with the people that are in your life that are maybe looking at doing something like this. Whatever you choose to do, have an incredible day. It was another great episode. Thanks so much, Alexa, and I'll see you soon in the next one.
Absolutely, Natalie. Thank you.
Bye for now.